Now, they say that you should mess with the voodoo, but in this case, I say that you should, and I have, because I am a great fan of the Gabriel Knight series, and I've actually played the remastered version that came out for the PC, and now we have the Gabriel Knight Sins of the Fathers coming out for iPhone and iPads, and I'm happy today to be premiering the trailer for the iPhone and smartphone version and have Jane Jensen with us today. Thanks for coming on and talking with us.
It's great to be here. Thanks for asking me.
So, just tell me overall, like, what was it like to, do a remaster of, of a great game like Gabriel Knight?
Well, we started the project a couple years ago, and we did it was completely redone. All of the art, all the animation, the voices, the programming had to be done from scratch. And we did it for PC and Mac, but I always had my eye on the tablet version. So when we did the redesign of some of the UI elements, we really had the tablet version in mind, particularly the iPad version.
Now, did you play the game, back in the day? It came out like in, I think, 1993. Did you play it back then?
Did I play it?
Yeah.
Well, I was the original designer and creative director on it, so I must have played it about 1 million times before it actually released.
Well, strangely enough, a lot of people don't actually play stuff that they work on. I've had people tell me that they've worked on games, but besides testing, they didn't really play it because, hey, it was just work for them. So it's like a disconnect.
No, it was a really big passion for me, and I wanted, I was a big fan of adventure games. I played all the Sierra games, so I really wanted it to be perfect, and played it a lot, trying to get all the little glitches out. It's a fairly complicated story, so in terms of the pacing and just the fear factor and some of those things, it took some playtesting to really get that ironed out.
So as far as when it came out for PC, what did you think of the reception and reaction of that? Because a lot of people that I know loved how it looked, and I mean, it played great. I played it. I got it on Steam, and it really brought back the adventures of searching around. It wasn't easy. Like, you think about games that has come out since, where it's much easier to just solve the different puzzles and stuff. But in Gabriel Knight, everything isn't just handed to you. It's not like it's extremely hard, but you actually had to use your brain to solve some of the puzzles in it.
Yeah, I mean, the puzzle design hasn't changed that much since the original in '93, and I purposefully at that time tried to make it a little harder because back then I think King's Quest V had recently come out, and it was the first game to go to pure point and click, and a lot of the traditional Sierra players were complaining that it was too easy. So Gabriel Knight was kind of an effort in making a point and click more challenging and having some of that more puzzly flavor. So we did simplify the interface a bit, but for the most part, the actual puzzles haven't changed. So it is harder, I think, than you would normally see now, but we also added in a journal which, sort of records all the important things so you can look back to see what somebody said if you need a hint. And there also is an actual hint system in it, so, it'll pretty much give you the answer to the puzzle if you're really stumped.
Yeah, I did like that you had the chance that you would click on it and it would give you a piece, and then it actually had a timer where it's like you didn't immediately could just click and see everything. So it's like if you really stumped, you got a little piece, and then you had to wait, and then you could get a little bit more. So it wasn't just thrown out to you, but that way it helped people if they really got stuck.
Yeah, and in this day and age, I'm sure there's lots of walkthroughs and stuff online too if people just want to kind of breeze through it.
So as far as smartphones, I mean, that's really great because if you think about it, I mean, back then, especially when you were playing it on PC back in the 90s, it came out and you had this cinematic feel, which was still new at the time. And now you're able to bring that to your phone. I mean, that's got to be pretty awesome to be able to have that on a tablet, on a phone.
I've only played it on my iPad 3, and I think have you played it on phone, on a smartphone?
I haven't got to play it on the phone yet, only on the computer.
Yeah, I know that it's, I've played it on the iPad and it's fantastic there. I mean, it's just the graphics really pop on an iPad. In fact, the scenes were made for Retina resolution, so they're all high res, and there's various ambient effects going on and so forth. I haven't tried it on a phone. I think you would definitely need a bit of a larger phone, because it's got some fairly small hotspots on it.
Yeah, that's true. I thought about that. There's, some scenes like when you go to a voodoo museum and you're clicking around on a lot of different things. That's really what's great about having the high res, is that you can see things a lot
Yeah.
clearer, and then you're clicking around on things where I guess maybe on a phone that could be a little bit more difficult.
There is all the devices have a way to reveal all the hotspots. They will flash. I'm not sure if it's a swipe or a hold on the phone, but there's a help system, that tutorial that comes up, that will tell you how to get that to happen on that device.
Overall, working on games, and especially working on remastering games, was there previously like inspiration of games even prior, to like in the 90s, that got you into creating games and working on games?
Yeah, I bought my first PC, I think or my laptop. Yeah, it was a desktop PC. It was Hewlett Packard, and it was probably like 1988 or something. And I bought a bunch of Sierra games to play on there, and I loved them. So I was definitely really influenced by the Sierra games, and to some extent the LucasArts games as well, like King's Quest and Monkey Island, and I love the Laura Bow mysteries, and Conquest of the Longbow, and there's just a lot of great series that were out at that time.
Overall, did you have like a favorite classic game from back in the day?
I would probably have to say, King's Quest and Monkey Island were among my all-time favorites.
I was really a fan of Space Quest, just because I always liked sci-fi, and some of the deaths in those games was really,
yes,
really
crazy. Those are hilarious games. Really, really good.
So in the trailer that we're going to watch, it gives you a good setup of what the story is about. I love the idea of New Orleans. I only visited very shortly, but it's not all about voodoo and stuff. And even in the story, it talks about the difference between fake voodoo or hoodoo and the real actual people that study about it. And it's really great because it teaches you. Yes, games do that nowadays. It's not just just thrown around, but when you actually listen to, like, when you go to a museum and you're talking to the curator there, and he tells you about the differences about it between the tourist version of thinking of it, and then what the actual history and how it does with slavery and everything mixed in. And it was really interesting to learn about that.
Well, that's good. I mean, we made a lot of those dialogues. One of the changes we made in the new game is, in the original game you could ask anybody anything, and there was just so much dialogue. And for the fans, we didn't really want to completely take that out of the game, but we ended up highlighting the things that you absolutely have to ask, so that if you're a player that doesn't want to sit through a lot of dialogue, you can just see immediately the 3 things you need to ask that person and then move on. So I'm glad to hear that you like listening to some of that interesting stuff on Voodoo in the museum.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, some people obviously are going to just want to go for the action, and some people will go for the story. But that's the great thing about games like this, is that they can appeal to a wide range of people. And like you said, you don't have to click on everything. You have the options to go, and you even have it highlighted on things to listen to. But it's there so that if you want to learn more, you can go through. And people like me like to click on every little thing. And there's a lot of people that love to see every little nook and cranny, and there's a lot of little hidden things like that you can learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail in the game, so hopefully people will enjoy really just taking their time and exploring it.
Well, the game is Gabriel Knight, Sins of Father. It's available now on iPad and Android for tablets, and you can go pick it up. I hope you guys will. It was a great game back in the day. The remastered version on PC is great, and I'm sure that the remastered version for iPhone and Android tablets would be great as well. It's from Pinkerton Road. And Jane, thanks for coming on and talking with us about it.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing what you think of the tablet version.
Thanks. All right, guys, let's check out the trailer.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Definitely another voodoo murder. Same MO and no freaking clues.
The killings in the newspaper. I know they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
I can smell his blood in your veins.